Hey everybody, we're back in action with some more Autodesk today. The details for the video are we are going to try to learn how to use dimensions and cut extrude, and then make some interesting kind of sculptures and stuff using the circular pattern tool. So let's jump into it. Let me show you first how to use dimensions because those are kind of important. Oh, so we need a sketch to extrude. Let's go ahead and start a 2D sketch. And I'm just going to make a cube to start with. So I'm going to draw a rectangle like that. And now there's two ways to enter in a dimension. I'm going to show them to you both, one now and one later. Here's the first way. You just click the dimension tool. It looks like that. You can see your dimension lines on there. Then you click on the thing that you want to dimension. And you can just type it in. I'm going to do a 1-inch cube. Oops. Here we go. 1 inch. Wow. Doesn't like that. Oh, because I don't have numlock on. Okay, there we go. 1 inch. All right. And then for this one, you can click this line right here, which is what we just did, or you can click this line and then this line, and now it will give me the space in between them. So that's another good way to dimension as well. All right, so we have 1 inch by 1 inch cube, and let's go ahead and extrude that to, you guessed it, 1 inch. And there we go. All right, so we have a cube now. So now what I want to do is I want to cut out the inside of this cube because it kind of leaves me with a cool shape in the middle there. Let's start a 2D sketch, and we'll start it right there. Yep, on that side. Okay, now here's another way that you can do your dimensions. You can enter them in as you're typing. If you look at the dimension that's highlighted right there, I can type something in. So let's say I want to do, let's see, what should I do? Maybe 0.7 will look good. And then I can hit tab and I can do the other dimension, right? So this is locked horizontally, but it's not locked vertically. So I can also say 0.7 right there as well. Perfect. Okay. So now, oops, we have that. Looks pretty good, except that it's not centered on there. So we probably want the square to be centered on the face of the cube before we extrude it. So in order to accomplish that, I'm going to have to dimension to the model edge. Now, you can dimension to the model edge without doing anything else and it works, but it's probably easiest to just click project geometry right here. And then that will make the model edges part of your sketch. So check this out. They're going to turn yellow when I click on the face here. Right, so there you go. They turn yellow, and now that sketch, now the 3D geometry of the cube is available to me while sketching. So I'm going to dimension right here from that line to that edge. Now this, so we have 0.7 all the way across a 1-inch cube. So the difference between those two is 0.3. But I only want half of that, so I'm going to divide it by 2, 0.3 divided by 2, and look at that, 1.5. So good to know. You also have a built-in calculator right there for your dimensions. So you don't have to calculate your dimensions beforehand and then type them in. You can just type them in right like this, divided by 2, put an equation in there, and there you go, you have it. All right, so let's finish the sketch and do a cut extrude on this thing. Here we go. We're going to choose the circle. And now we want to do a cut extrude. So I am going to click that button for cut. Let's go ahead and look at the other side. Make sure we're cutting all the way through a distance of 1 inch. We can also choose this to cut all, and we'll just cut everything. Or we could go to next, stuff like that. Let's just choose all because we want to cut the whole thing, and we'll click OK. And there you have it. We've made a hole in our cube. Let's keep on doing that. I'm going to go kind of quick just so the video doesn't get too long. You can follow along. You can do what you want. Let's see. Oh, and look at that. This popped up through here. Maybe that will be of some use. 0.7 tab, 0.7 tab. Okay, there we go. Now let's project the geometry here. And we will dimension again here 1.5, or sorry, 0.15. And here, now I might give me some issues. It's already okay. So it won't let me dimension here. It's saying if you dimension here, you're going to over constrain the sketch. Why is it saying that? Now, the lucky thing is for us in this video is that it's already right. It's already at 0.15. But why won't it let me just add the dimension in there? That's because, do you see this projected geometry right here? If I spin around and look at it from a different angle, if I use my view cube right here to spin around and look at a different angle, you can see that this line right here lines up with that line right there. So when I made the rectangle, I basically snapped the top edge onto this line right here, which it pulled through the material of the cube itself. That's why it won't let me dimension, but it's okay. We're probably good there. We can click finish sketch and we can do another extrude here. We'll do a cut extrude, go through an inch. Looks good. All right, now we have 2 of the 3 sides cut out. Let's do another one right here. Start a final 2D sketch, and we'll make ourselves a square. Now I'm going to try not to do any fancy stuff here with the projecting geometry. Let's just do it the regular way. 0.7 and 0.7. Okay, now we will dimension to the edge. Just to show you that it works without projecting geometry. You can auto project. Better to project geometry than dimension, but it is possible to do it this way as well. 0.15, and there we go. Now technically we want this to be below. No, we don't want to do that. Never mind. You know what? Finish the sketch and let's extrude that thing right there. No, extrude. Here we go. We'll extrude that. Do a cut extrude. Perfect. Okay. So we have ourselves a cube. Now the coolest thing I've ever seen anybody make on the 3D printer, I think, was a cube like this. And then they put kind of like a 3-dimensional plus sign in the middle that extended out on each of the 3 sides. And because they made it with a 3D printer, it was possible, but it was like this geometric impossibility where you couldn't get the cube, or you couldn't get the plus sign that was in there out, and you couldn't have gotten it in. It ended up being really cool. So you could do something like that. You can make all kinds of cool sculptures, using stuff like this. Let me show you one thing that's pretty interesting. You can do something like this. In our 3D model tab, you can choose a pattern and you can choose the circular pattern. Now you can click here on the features. So almost all Autodesk menus follow a couple of different patterns. This is one of them, where first you want to make a circular pattern. So first you pick the thing that you want to pattern. So I want to pattern this entire cube. Now the problem is I might miss some of it. So I'm going to come over here to something called the browser and check that out just for a sec. So if I look at my browser here, this is basically a record of everything that I've done to the part, right? And it goes in order. So first I made a sketch, then I extruded it, right? And I got the whole cube. Then I made another sketch right there and I extruded it, right? To cut out that piece, right? Then I cut out this piece right here. Then finally I cut out that piece right there. So the browser over here in the left is a really powerful tool that allows you to view parts through their history and select them in menus and stuff. If you don't have a browser, you can go right here to view user interface and just make sure your browser bar is checked. Okay, so on to it, our 3D model, our circular pattern. First, I'm going to select what do I want to pattern? What features do I want to pattern? I want to do extrusion 1, extrusion 2, extrusion 3, and extrusion 4. I'm holding down shift in order to select all of those. Okay, so now I'm patterning everything. Now I'm going to choose a rotation axis. So that's usually the second thing you do. I'm going to try rotating it around here. And you can see it looks kind of cool. Let's change it right here. 6 rotations. Let's try 5 so we get kind of a pentagon type of shape. And let's click OK. And there you go. You have this kind of cool like star type of pattern that emerged. There's some like weird inconsistencies happening right here. Not exactly sure how that happened. Probably has to do with the edge we picked. Actually, if we picked a different edge, it would probably be more, I'm reporting, I subscribe to the service. Anyways, okay, probably good enough for this video. Make me some cool patterns and send them, and take a screenshot and send them to me. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.